Kapitel Yikuf Test, the longest kapitel. It's Pasuk Zion, I think, Pasuk Test rather, the ninth Pasuk of 119th chapter. Kapitel, chapter 119, thank you. Kapitel 119, Kuf Test, Pasuk Zion. Pasuk Test. What does it say in that Pasuk? The simple shot, Bameh, I'll write it down on the board. I'll write it down forward so it'll be easy to see it. Bela not here today?
No.
No? He's cat. Nah. Es Orcho. Okay. Simple shot. How does a young person, Bameh, with what? Yizakeh Nar. Nar is a youthful person. How does a youthful person have zechut, Yizakeh, as oracle to make his ways meritorious, his pathway in life to be meritorious? Lishma kukecha, to observe your chukim. This is the simple meaning of the words. That a person at youth should not think I have time in my life, let me enjoy life now, later on. No, but maybe you want to have your pathway going the right way, then even when you're young, you have to make sure to be very adamant about keeping the chukim. This is a simple meaning. But the Maggid said, no, I have a different shot. Bameh Yizake Nar. Nar is a boy, not a girl. Naharo is a girl. Nar is a boy. With what does one have? What's chus? Bameh Yizake. B'ma is a schut that someone would have to him born a boy. Es orchoi, through the mitzvah of achnasas orchim, through the mitzvah of inviting guests for Shabbos and Yom Tov. The schus of es orchoi, you will have a son. Who said that? The Maggid, the predecessor of the Alter Rebbe. He said, I'm not telling you where I got it from. You can get it from anywhere. Got straight line, and this is what the Alter Rebbe worked on, and then the Mitteler Rebbe was born. Mitteler Rebbe was known for a lot of special things. I mean, beyond special. His passing, which is also today, you hear about his histalkus, what kind of histalkus he had, how he passed away. Anyone know?
No.
Okay, it's worthwhile to talk about it. He was very sick after Tishrei, last Tishrei of his life. He was traveling from the city of, he was going from traveling towards Lubavitch, and he stopped off. He got too sick, and he stopped off in the city of Nezhin. And as time went on, the sickness got worse, to the extent that even they told him, you can't, no chasidus, you got to rest. And the rest didn't help him, it made him even worse. He was so sick that he was already semi-unconscious. The doctors say we can't understand how a person like this could still be alive right now. He's so weak and so sick. And the Chassidim were very, very bothered, very worried. While the Tehillim was said. And then doctors said, listen, we got Dr. Habenthal, was not a Jewish doctor, but he was very much of a chassid of the Mitteler Rebbe. He understood the Mitteler Rebbe is not a regular person. Tells the other doctors, tell him that he could chazer chassidus, and you have to lose. All the medication is not working on him anyways. Tell him he can say a mimer. And they did. He gets up, sits up. Color came to his face again, and they were like here's some mason almost. And he starts, I'm now going to reveal something that was never revealed since Sheshes and Mebrachos. Imagine hearing that from the Rebbe. What happened? When Chassidim hears such thing, they get very excited. It was someone who was standing too far away, so he jumped up on the table, and he bent down to here, and his hat fell off and hit the Mitteler Rebbe. Mitteler Rebbe said, oh, it's a sign in Hashemayim, it's not the right time for me to reveal this. So he started saying different mimers. What was the mimer about? He started saying the mimer. This was a week before he passed away. The mimer was about why is Hashem making 5-year-old children? Why is he causing them to be drafted in the army? What have they done wrong? And he said, because Hashem is seeing there's a kitru, there's a prosecution from on high, why the Jewish people are not involved in mitzvahs. They don't really, they do it, but they do it without any feeling. There's no chayas. That means they don't care. They're not into it. So Hashem sometimes takes the ability for them to fulfill a mitzvah away from them. That brings a thirst, timaon. And this thirst removes the prosecution. When Hashem sees when the Jews can't fulfill the mitzvahs because they're deprived by the non-Jewish authorities, suffering, and therefore they are screaming, and we can't tolerate this kind of lifestyle. We want to do a mitzvah. That removes all the evil decrees and creates a new level of relationship with Hashem. That's what he spoke about. He started speaking about how great the Jewish people are. This was a week before. Then time went on, he got weaker and weaker and weaker until they were saying kill him a whole night. This is the night before he passed away. He was very weak, and he said, you should go home and you should be happy and praying. He was incredibly weak. In fact, I think in the middle of the week before, he said, when he woke up, before he said the mimer, he said, I just heard a heavenly voice saying, what is a soul like this doing in this world? These are the opening words he said when he woke up. What is an neshama of this caliber doing in this world? He said about himself. And
he said
about himself.
Why?
כך הוא אמר. עכשיו הוא שמע פסקול מלמעלה שאומרים, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in the other world.
Okay.
This is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
The Mitteler Rebbe. The night of his passing, he summons his Hasidim. First of all, he says out loud, the words he used were, under holy and pure hands, God's hands, I give away my life, my spirit, and my soul. He said these words the night before. They knew right away that. And he started saying, I want to part from you, I want to leave you with a mimer. And he said 3 mimerim that night, all praising the Jewish people, how special the Jewish people are. He also praised one of his Hasidim, the whole story about that. He mentioned this Chassid is a very special Chassid. And then the third mimer, which took place right by dawn, he passed away saying the word Chaim. The Imcha Mekor Chaim, when he said the word Chaim, his neshama left his body. But Tzemach Tzedek said that since the Rashbi, from the time of Rav Shimon ben Yochai, no tzaddik passed away with saying the word Chaim in the middle of Divrei Torah. That was the first time his passing was similar to the passing of the Rashbi. What is unique about the Mitteler Rebbe, besides the fact that he passed away the same day he was born, and that's very, very unusual. You don't find that. It shows how his spiritual life and his physical years on the calendar were mati'im. That means his gashmius and his ruchnius were at one. Concerning the Mitteler Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek said, I don't know what it means, that if you were to cut him, blood wouldn't come out, Chassidus would come out. My period was that, look at that. I was a little stunned, they didn't say about the Alter Rebbe, but the Mitteler Rebbe, they said it. There's no picture of him. Ain't Tmuna.
No.
And that's the Rebbe's father.
This is Rebbe's father?
The top, but it's not small.
Okay.
There's no picture. The Rebbe Maharash, the fourth Lubavitcher Rebbe, there is a picture, but it wasn't publicized. He looked exactly like the previous Rebbe, to the extent that one of the Hasidim of the Rebbe Maharash, when he saw the previous Rebbe for the first time, he says, after the Rebbe Maharash passed away, when he saw the previous Rebbe, he fainted. But he thought he seen the Rebbe Maharash. The only difference is that Rebbe Maharash was much bigger, wider, was very overweight, wasn't well. He had a terrible disease. He was very, very overweight, and that's why the picture is not publicized. But we know what he looked like. The Mitteler Rebbe, the second Lubavitcher Rebbe, there's no picture. The Rebbe once asked, how come there's no picture? We have a picture of the Alter Rebbe, we have it, some tzedek right there on the bottom. The Rebbe Rashav, the previous Rebbe, our Rebbe, his father. Why is there no picture of the Mitteler Rebbe? The only Chabad Rebbe, but there's no picture. So the Rebbe said that because he put so much of his Gashmias, even his blood, into Hasidus, it was so to such a degree that showing a portrait of him, a picture, would not do justice. It would be almost an insult. Because when do you get to see who he is? By learning his Maimor and his Hasidus. He put so much of his life into his Hasidus that the best picture is the Maimor you're learning, not the portrait. Whatever said. So his Gashmis and his Ruchnis were so in touch. And there's this, you'll read the stories here about his wedding and about his not his wedding, his
אבל למי
birth.
הוא היה דומה?
Huh?
למי הוא היה דומה?
Huh?
למי הוא היה דומה? לאיזה רב? אוי, לא כבר. כן, כמו מי הוא היה נראה?
I didn't say looking at anyone. I didn't say that we don't know what he looked like, the Mitteler Rebbe.
Mm.
There's no picture. Some say he had a similar look to the
Yeah.
Rebbe Rashav, the fifth Bavtir Rebbe.
Okay.
Some say, but not exact. Not the fourth Rebbe and the sixth Rebbe look exactly alike. The Marash, who was the previous Rebbe's grandfather, there's no picture here of him.
Mm.
But there is a picture, it's just not, it's not the Pearson. אבל יש תמונה של הרבי מהרש. הרבי מהרש הנכד שלו זה רבי הרייץ, הרבי הקודם.
Mm.
Okay, so the Mitteler Rebbe is passing. Now I want to just mention something about very important, a lesson that we learn from tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that he was released from prison. He was in prison also. And his Yom HaGeula was Yud Kislev, the year before, 1 day short of a year minus a day before he passed away, he was liberated from Zara's prison. We don't make a big deal so much of his incarceration. It seems like to be a much smaller Geula than the Geula of Yud Kislev. In fact, the Mitteler Rebbe was not in he was in house arrest. They respected him. They gave him the right to daven and to have a minyan and to say chassidus. He wasn't. His geula was not so to the same degree as the Alter Rebbe's geula. But the Rebbe said in the Sikha, he said, we are now celebrating Yud Kislev. How does it make sense on Yud Kislev, the day of the Mitteler Rebbe's liberation, to downplay it, to say that it's not as great as Yud Kislev? So the Rebbe in the Sikha here says that there's something unique about Yud Kislev, which we don't find with Yud Kislev. And that is, don't forget, you all know the Alter Rebbe at the end of his life was running away from Napoleon, and he was on the side of the Russians against the French. In fact, the Alter Rebbe sent spies, and the Russians knew that. And they gave the Alter Rebbe a very powerful title, honorary citizen for all generations. Also in Russian. Anyone know Russian here? Who knows Russian here? There's nobody. So I won't. Excuse my Russian. Patamsveni, Patroni, Grajanin. Maybe I don't say that. In other words, he was an honored citizen for all generations. Honored citizen for all generations. Leaving already now?
No, she's coming back. Yeah.
This is the only way that it's not only so small. Went away. Okay.
No, because the girl missing.
More than one missing. There's others. He's also missing. What's her name?
Yeah, Shayna, Visti, and Bailey.
Yeah, this I know, but that's three. It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's half the class.
Mhm.
Hmm? Hmm. You always pick on Tuesday? On this class? Saying, but always on Tuesday you pick the time to leave. Okay. There's a lesson to learn in our lives. Sometimes we have big things happening, very, very exciting things happening in our lives. For example, sometimes we witness hashgacha pratis, unbelievable, life-saving hashgacha pratis. Everyone knows in their own personal life, you go through an obvious Simon Hashemayim that this is a mess, miracle. Time goes on, start forgetting a little bit about it. Take it for granted. But then when you remind yourself of wow, I wouldn't be here today if not for this. So, and you also, before this great miracle happened, you were in the dumps. You were really going through a lot of hardships. And you needed a special salvation from Hashem, and you got it. And you're very thankful. And you realize, this is Yad Hashem. It's Hashem's hand that put me here. I don't know how, but wow, what a miracle. Everyone can give examples in their own personal lives, I'm sure. Many people can, of how Hashem has helped them, in unbelievable ways. But then you have what we call a second. This Geula would be like Yutas Kislev. The Rebbe's life was in danger. It was really severe. And he witnessed a Geula, an unbelievable Geula, a miracle. Yutas Kislev is a much lighter Geula. It wasn't as serious as the allegations weren't as serious as the Alter Rebbe, nowhere near. And therefore the Geula seems to be more low key. But here's the deal. After the Alter Rebbe was given a title, beloved by all the Russians, for fighting for the Russians against the French. He was on the side, he was against Napoleon. Why he felt that way? He felt that as bad as it is in Russia, Napoleon is worse. And the Russians knew that he helped them. They gave him they gave him a whole city to live in, Kherson, and they really respected him. Obviously, they would never believe that his son, Mitteler Rebbe, who collected a lot of money for the poor people in Eretz Yisrael, for poor Hasidim in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael was under the Ottoman Empire in those days. The Ottoman Empire was fighting Russia in those days. So they made a whole accusation. The Alter Rebbe is trying to make a revolution. He's believing in Mashiach and he's sending money to Israel, the Ottoman Empire. He wants to overthrow the government. It happened through relatives. The Mitteler Rebbe had relatives that did not like him. Because one of them wanted to make a shidduch with the Mitteler Rebbe's daughter, and the Mitteler Rebbe said no, for good reasons. And therefore, they forged documents saying that he didn't only collect 3,000 rubles, 103,000 rubles. They added 100, they added 103,000 rubles instead of 3,000. And that's not normal, a normal sum. It must be really he's trying to, who knows, he's preparing a rebellion. It's a long story how it happened. But anyways, he was never in serious, it was never his life was not in danger. They respected him even while he was in prison. They realized, but the fact they could put the Alter Rebbe's son, the Russian hero, they called the Alter Rebbe the Russian hero. They gave him a name, a title. And the Mitteler Rebbe, his own son, should be back in prison again? That's a relapse. We witnessed a miracle. We witnessed the Alter Rebbe's miracle. The Goyim saw it already. They realized who the Alter Rebbe was, and they put his own son into prison again, albeit a smaller imprisonment. But still, how does that happen? So here's the rule. Here's how we can fit into our own personal lives. Sometimes we go through a second golus. In other words, we find ourselves the first time around, we're really in a mess. Our lives are a mess. And we witness Hashgacha Pratis, or it could be a Baal Tshuva. Someone who has messed up their lives, they were involved in drugs, involved with, I don't want to mention things, everyone knows what they could be, what's going on in the world right now. They were in the dark, and they ran away from that lifestyle and embraced Yiddishkeit. The moment of that running away, they were very, very passionate. It was a very powerful geula. As time goes on, what happens sometimes? We get used to it. Get used to being from. And we get our Baal Tshuva blues, as they're called. We don't have such chayas anymore. We forget the original chayas we had when we made that major jump in our lives to embrace Yiddishkeit. Especially if it's someone who wasn't even Jewish and embraces Gerus, they're very powerful. But as time goes on, you get used to it, you start falling back again. And now a person says, if after I witnessed such an incredible miracle from Hashem, an incredible changeover in my life, I'm falling back again, I'll never get out of this. If there's a relapse, then this golus is even stronger than the first Golas. If I could witness a Golas after such an incredible miracle salvation from Hashem, then there's something wrong with me. It's like, when a person is never has a malignant tumor, God forbid, and you get chemotherapy, and it works, then it comes back again. You feel worse the second time than the first time. Because first, you at least have hope. The person's very, very sick, and then you take the medication, and the person goes through, what you call again what's the word in English?
You can say in Hebrew.
I don't know Hebrew word either. It's a word. A person's remission. But the machla is not spreading anymore. For 6 months, a year, then it comes back with a vengeance. Even though it might be, this is the second time. It might be a smaller episode, but if after I got rid of it, it still comes back again. After I got rid of my previous lifestyle and ruchnius, I ran away from my previous lifestyle, and now I'm falling back again. Even though I'm not falling back completely, I'm not deciding to abandon Yiddishkeit, but I'm, losing my chayes, losing my, that's the Mitteler Rebbe's goals. Much less. I'm not involved in drugs. I'm not involved in Averis. I'm keeping Torah mitzvahs, but I don't have, I'm bored. Cutting little ends here, cutting there, a little bit here. Overall, I'm still, observant. But there's cutting corners. So it's a much smaller golos. But the fact you're going to witness this golos after experiencing Yiddishkeit, the chayes you had for years, and all of a sudden you're falling back again, in a way, it's a darker golos than the golos you had before you were from. Because before you were exposed, what do you expect? But after I was exposed to Yiddishkeit, I'm falling again? That's even more scary. It's like the relapse. After the medication, I'm back, not back completely, but partially back even. Then I'm worried.
Okay, but we need all the life to be excited for the.
Not to lose your thing. If people had a one time in lifetime, a very big chayis of going away from jumping from.
But this is what happened. But after it's be normal
Yeah, but then you get used to it, and you're not
כן.
but you have, יש ספקות, חסר חיות קצת.
אבל זה לא היצר הרע? It's not all the...
כן, אבל זה לא, it's not to the same degree. Well, not to the same degree as it was prior. Before you were not at all. You were in, completely. I'm not talking about you, someone.
Okay.
Someone was lost completely and needed salvation, needed a Yeshua. Otherwise, your life would have been messed up completely and no return. And the person witnessed a salvation in life. This is the Alter Rebbe's Geula, a major redemption and freedom from all the tzaras. And you acknowledge that, you realize that. But then not long after, all of a sudden, you're getting weaker again. You're losing. It's ugly, and you get used to it. Yud Kislev is the Geula, is a second Geula. Yud Kislev is the Geula of the Mitteler Rebbe. But even when you have, you understand what I'm saying? The Alter Rebbe witnessed a tremendous Geula where the Goyim realized that. And if the same Goyim could put his own son into prison again, even though it wasn't as serious, the crime wasn't to the same degree. But the fact that after such a Geula, you could still witness a Choshech after such an Oyer, so although the Choshech is not as dark as the first Choshech, but in a way it's darker. And we have a connection to Chassidus, and yet we can still fall. Before I had a connection, what do you expect? I came from the street. But after someone has so many years of his kashrut in Darkei Yahadut Chassidut, and after that to fall, even to fall partially, not to fall too far, in a way that can make you feel, forget about it, there's no hope. Yud Kislev says that even when you have a relapse, when you fall, the second time, yes, tikva. אל תתייאש.
זה י' כסלו?
כן, ומחר. Tomorrow's Yud Kislev is the day that don't worry about second falling. When you fall a second time and you lose your chayis, don't give up.
אני כאילו, I thinking about it, this is all the life, like we hear and hear, it's not like this, it's like this is a life, no? כאילו,
Do you ever have a moment where you have a special moment in your life when you transition? I don't know about you personally, but I know some people, there was a moment where they changed their whole lifestyle.
yeah,
Maya, the techayot.
ברור.
Okay. What happens after a few years, after a few months sometimes? Midraglim, you get used to it. And you get used to it, you know. There's certain things we do that are not so perfect, not terrible, but it's a yirida. So a yirida after an aliyah, in a way, even a small yirida is worse than the yirida lifnei aliyah rishon. A yirida rishon, a yirida achi chazak. It was.
Yeah.
But what do you expect? I didn't know about Yiddishkeit. But after I know about Yiddishkeit, I'm still falling. In a way, it's a deeper goal.
Yeah, נכון, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Happened, you know, we have יצר so.
I understand, but it's hard. But you have also so much siyata d'shmaya now. You have so much going for you. And if a person could still, I'm talking about a person who really went through a major change in their lives. Not everyone here. Someone who's gone through a drastic change in their lives. And at that time, they were like in seventh heaven. Wow. The kolkach. Then you get used to it and you start falling a little bit. It's a small fall, not a major fall. But even a small fall is, to some degree, qualitatively speaking, even worse. How could you fall after such an incredible... I'm not saying a person should be, 24/7, 365, and, jumping in the air. But sometimes it manifests itself by losing a little chayis in Yiddishkeit. You have sfekot, shailot, sfekot, you're not so, and you start drifting a little bit. Drift. That drifting is scary. That means, I understood before I was from, what you expect. But after so much experience of the beauty of Yiddishkeit, which you did feel, the person did feel, you felt it in your life. And then you lose it. To some degree, it's even worse. And the Geula of Yud Kislev tells us, don't give up on yourself, even if that happens. Never give up. Gula של האדמו"ר הזקן זה גולה מגלות, מהחושך, חושך כפול ומכופל, from קצה העולם. The choshech, the geula of the Mitteler Rebbe is you already are from, but you're losing it. You're going down, you're falling a little bit. אז הגולה של האדמו"ר האמצעי זה נשיאת כוח להגביה את עצמך גם במצב where you saw a tremendous amount of hashgacha pratit in your life, you saw miracles in your life, and you still have sfekot. Shomer Torah mitzvot. חסר פה משהו. You don't have, your chayis is much less than it was everything. Happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Called Baal Tshuva blues. What do you call it? Anyways.
But sometimes אנחנו לא רוצים לראות בעל תשובה בגלל זה, כי אנחנו מפחדים שהרגע הזה יגיע. שכאילו נהיה בעל תשובה,
Okay.
ואז יש לנו מחויבות. We can't go there.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a person who didn't have any doubts at all what is the right direction. The person saw what's going on with their lives. They're falling to rock bottom. They were involved in, I don't want, all different kinds of things that, yes, Bolam Hazeh, there's a lot of, this past Shabbat I had a guest. My wife, by mistake, invited this person who, she actually attended Mechon Yahadut. Hatzir. When I saw her, I had to hold myself back. She had no hair, looked like a boy, full with mouth, nose,
Yeah.
and earrings. A girl.
Ah, okay.
She was a student here, and she said she hated it here. Okay.
I know her.
You know this? How do you know her?
Because I know her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She's like,
What's her name?
is the name of the girl?
Yeah, you know her first name?
Esther?
No.
Yeah, maybe I don't remember, but this is a girl.
And she has tattoos all over her body.
Yeah, you know it.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
She's weird. This girl is weird.
She's famous in the year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because
Well, no.
she was in Israel, right?
Yeah.
Tell you, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this is the guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I tried a lot to try to be Makar,
כן, כולם. Yeah, we know, but.
Yeah. but this is, and let's say all of a sudden she breaks out of this. I can't see it happening because she's very happy with her life. She said she's happy.
She's, okay.
כך היא אומרת,
Yeah.
זה החיים שלי, זה מתאים שלי, יהדות לא מתאים שלי.
But it's not true because she always come to the Yadut, so.
I told her that. The fact that you come here,
כן.
the siman that your
always
neshama,
come.
I thought your neshama is thirsty.
מאוד. היא תמיד נמצאת במקום של יהדות, אני פגשתי אותה, אנחנו כל הזמן כאילו, so she really wanted.
Yeah, she has a, I think your neshama is in pain and is trying to break through. Felt so bad for her. Trying my best to be, try to, I was speaking with words, Yosim and Alev. And she, at first she was very scared. When I first came home, Like,
After she was in
the
your
beginning, when I
meal,
first
she
came
came to us.
That was the Shabbat?
כן.
that was,
Yeah.
her name was Yael.
Yeah.
Yael.
Yeah, I think Esther did that.
So she was like shaking like this when I came home. Oh, I know your name. Hey, everything's fine, normal. Then she washed. Wasn't eat, she was a vegetarian, which was good, but the only trait. But it was,
Yeah.
you have people that are, huh? Yeah, now she goes, yeah. He's strange, to say the least. He has an neshama, he claims he has an neshama of a boy. 7 years ago.
But why?
Then she was like, looking for something. Now she's not the thing. Then she was, yeah, I don't know how normal she was, but she was from officially. Now she went completely off with that.
Like she got more confused after? I think?
I don't know how she was. I don't remember her when she was here. I was teaching her. She said she was in my class. I don't remember her. So I probably looked normal around those days. And yeah, probably the tattoos came later. And he was dressed and was like, it was hard. But this is Chabad. We don't judge. I told her I don't.
נכון, אני
She was like saying, I know you must think. I said, I don't judge anyone. I don't judge anybody. I'm not judgmental.
כן.
I see your neshama. I don't see your body. I see you. And thank you for coming. And she felt relieved. And then she felt very good. Just really, you never know. Sometimes you can never know. Sometimes you say something and it can turn something on.
But you don't believe in that, so why would you say that?
Huh?
Okay.
What's not true?
You're not just looking at her soul, you also, you said, you were a rich man, and also to
Yeah, her body is strange, but her soul is not strange. Her soul is very normal. Her stomach is very powerful. She looks strange. I'm not saying that I was trying to tell her this is not who you are. Who you are is deep inside. That's a part of you that's trying to break through. And trying to allow itself to enter into your life. And she says,
בדרך כלל, כאילו, אני יכולה להגיד משהו? בדרך כלל, כאילו, אנשים כאלה, זה אנשים שבאמת עברו משהו קיצוני בחיים.
Yeah.
כאילו, זה לא בא ממקום.
כן.
כי גם אם אתה לא דתי, אתה עדיין נשאר הרבה פעמים נורמלי, אבל אם אתה עושה דברים קיצוניים, אתה חייב לעבור משהו קיצוני.
כן.
ובגלל זה באמת אפשר לשבות. כי בטוח שאתה רואה כזה דבר, שהבן אדם עבר משהו מאוד לא פשוט.
Right.
ובאמת ככה.
Actually, she said that she's not angry, not rebelling against you. This guy just doesn't fit with her.
Sometimes we don't know that we are angry.
Yeah, could be. But it's not what you said. I'm not angry. I'm just, it's not my team. It's not for me. For other people, maybe, yeah, not for me. Whatever. That's that. But you have to realize that sometimes we have ups and downs in our life, and second down can be a smaller down, but it's deeper in a way. Like the example I gave with Force Aguf. כשיש מחלה, סרטן, ויש רפואה, והכל בסדר, ופתאום מתעורר עוד פעם, אף שלא כל כך, אבל the fact that you could have it again, oh no. חשבתי שהרפואה, גם הרפואה, אז אין תקווה כבר. אז י' Kislev comes to tell us, don't give up hope. יש תקווה. גם שזה גלות, לאחרי הגאולה, גם כשנופלים, יש תקווה. I'll get your age.
נוכל.
Let's see Masicha now. I'll sleep, otherwise I'll be here alone pretty soon. Okay. Power of Jewish femininity. So let's take a look at the introduction first. I'm not going to get too far today. I can see already. It is a duty of Hasidic women and girls to stand. You see the first page? Right there, first page. No. Yeah, but that's what he's showing. No. Oh,
Okay.
right here. There's a little bit of it, but it says that the duty of Hasidic women and girls to stand in the front line of every activity that seeks to strengthen the observance of Yiddishkeit. This excerpt from a letter, this is a part of a letter written as far back as 1936, reflects a trend that was developed and grew under the Rebbe's leadership, the empowerment of Jewish women. First, the Rebbe Rayat, the previous Rebbe, and then the Rebbe urged women to emerge from the background of society and to utilize their divinely endowed talents. There are two general views regarding women's liberation. A, seeking equality with the masculine world, which we see unfortunately. B, liberating the feminine aspects of our personality and manifesting them, revealing the power of a woman, not trying to mimic men. The latter conception reflects the thrust of the Rebbe's directive for women, but the Rebbe always saw every individual as a full person, to be gently but firmly encouraged to fulfill herself or himself. In the Sikha to follow, the Rebbe emphasizes these themes in a very refreshingly different manner. When addressing these ideas and other sensitive issues confronting today's Jewish women, he does not follow the common path of engaging in polemics, apologizing. Some people try to apologize to women. No, women are good. No. Instead, by unveiling and illuminating the Torah's truth, the Rebbe elevates us to an intellectual and spiritual perspective from which we behold a broad world picture, where the role of the Jewish women gains major distinction. So, I remember not long ago, but the Rebbe used to have the Machni Yisrael, rich people. They would come and they would get as close to talk with the Rebbe one-on-one. And one of the wives of these Yeridim, rich people, was a big feminist. The Rebbe tells her, telling her, you have to be strong. You have to be a feminist. And he says to the Rebbe, you're telling me? The Rebbe says, it's not the way you think. You have to extol, you have to praise the power of a woman, not to try to mimic what men do. But if you try to copy what men do, you're showing that you feel that being a woman is of secondary importance, and that's the wrong thing. Here you have a story, the power of Jewish femininity. Here you have in the Parsha of the week, Vatese Dinah Bas Leah. Vatese, I'll read it in Hebrew because you have the English on the side. Vatese Dinah Bas Leah Sheyolda LeYaakov Lirot Bivnot Haaretz. She was going to see what's going on with the other girls. Peter Rashi. Bas Leah. Why is she called Bas Leah and not Bas Yaakov? She was Yaakov's daughter too. Why is she only referred to as the daughter of Leah? Ella Hashem Itzti Asa, because she had this tendency of leaving, of going out, not staying home, not building the home, but rather allowing herself to be seen by other people. She's called Bas Leah. Why is she called Bas Leah? Because Leah also had that characteristic. She also left her house. It says Leah went out to greet Yaakov. She didn't wait for Yaakov to come. She greeted Yaakov. That's the end of it. Yes, the Rebbe says here, some say there's also added words like mother, like daughter. So because Dinah was very much like her mother, that's why she's called Bas Leah. So the Rebbe asks a very obvious question here. An explanation is required. We need to understand this Rashi. Why would Rashi choose to disparage, to speak very disrespectfully to Leah and to Dinah? His commentary, a simple commentary on Rashi, that Torah is coming to put down Leah. Leah is one of the four emot. We know the Torah does not even speak disparagingly about an animal, even a non-kosher animal. We learned about that already. Rashi already said, whenever you mention a tzaddik or a tzaddikis, you always praise them. How over here does it make sense? Dinah Bas Leah. Why is Dinah called the daughter of Leah? Like mother, like daughter. The mother wasn't so good. She went out a lack of tznius, of modesty, going out to greet Yaakov, although this will explain. And Dinah also, about Dinah, she followed her mother's ways, and look what happened to her. That's why she was abducted. Had she not mixed with the crowd there, this wouldn't have happened to her. So this is very, very negative. And the Rebbe does not want to tolerate this. And the Rebbe says, well, maybe the Torah is trying to put the blame on Leah to take away the blame on Dinah. Well, that makes sense. The Torah is going to disparage Leah so that Dinah doesn't look so bad. Why would you want to? You're hurting Leah. Leah was one of the four matriarchs, the four mothers. That's what the Rebbe says. Take a look at the next paragraph on page 420. The Rebbe says we have another way of explaining. Instead of saying that Dinah followed her mother's immodest, semi-immodest pathway, which is strange, why would the Torah want to publicize that Leah was not so special and Dinah is not so special? I understand it says Bas Leah. We have to give an explanation. Lama katuv Bat Leah. There's another alternative. We have another shot. How about saying, I just called Bas Leah? Remember the Rashi in previous parsha? Dinah was supposed to be a boy. The first transgender. Dinah was supposed to be a boy.
What?
But Leah prayed that her child should not be a boy, because if she has a seventh child, then Rachel will only have one. There had to be 12 children amongst the four wives. Bilhah and Zilpah already had 2. If Leah has 7 plus 2 plus 2 makes 11. That means Rachel didn't have any children yet. Only have one child, less than Bilhah and Zilpah. God forbid. I don't want my sister to be insulted like that. So therefore, I'm not going to have a boy. I'll have a girl, and there'll still be 12 boys to be born. So she prayed that her child she prayed and she judged. Why is she called Dinah? Don din ba'atzma. Why should I have so many children, so many shvatim? Because the shvatim are from the male. Shvatim, when my sister will have nothing. Will have only one. So she judged herself and said, "Let this be a girl, not a boy." And then that's how Dinah came into the world. So Dinah is a product of Leah. Thanks to Leah, we have Dinah. If not for Leah, Dinah would have been a boy. Why is she Bas Leah? Lama zeh bat? Biglal Leah. Biglal hatfilah shel Leah. That would be a beautiful shot. Instead of saying Leah is no good, Dinah is no good. Yatanit. Tagid mashal acher. Say something more positive. You know why she's called Bas Leah? Because if not for Leah, she wouldn't be a Bas. She'd be a Ben. Huh? He prayed. I guess they would get Ruach HaKodesh. They didn't need to go through, a sonogram both days. Leah was a prophetess. She knew. And the baby turned into a girl. A transgender. In utero. A kosher transgender.
It was boy, and
That's what it sounds like.
but she was the
Chapesh,
next.
but
Oh my God.
how that can happen, I don't know, but that's what happened. So why is he Bat? Why is he Dinah Bat? Because of Leah. That would explain why it's called Bas Leah, not Bas Yaakov. And we would have no disparaging Leah. Wouldn't be insulting Leah and insulting Dinah. Rashi's insulting. It sounds like he's insulting Dinah and Leah. So the Rebbe comes along and says, no, you misunderstood the Rashi. What Leah did was not a bad thing, and what Dinah did was not a bad thing at all. Not at all. It can't be. This is not the reason why it says Bat Leah. Another reason why it's difficult to say that Leah did something wrong. What did Leah do? She went out to greet Yaakov. Why? Because Yaakov would have gone to Rachel that night. It was Rachel's night. Yaakov does not know. But Leah and Rachel made a deal. You know, the Gedolim, the jasmine. So what happened? He said, "Okay, for giving me the jasmine, I'll give you my husband tonight. It'll be your night instead of my night." But Yaakov didn't know that. So Leah had to go greet him. Leah had to go out and say to Yaakov, "Come to my ohel." They had different rooms. "Come to my ohel and be intimate with me tonight." She didn't say that. A woman's not supposed to say it openly. But here's where we learn the halakha. Interesting for Kala lessons. That it's very important for the wife to show a sign that she wants to have without verbally saying it. Not bidibur. Showing signs. Come to the bedroom. Those words are okay. But you can't say the actual word, "Let's have you know what." Woman's not supposed to say that. Not modest. But she's supposed to get her husband excited about her, dressing beautifully, perfume, things like that. putting her arm around him. That's kosher. That's kosher 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
There is
That's what
halacha.
Leah did. Leah did. Yaakov, come. Bavakasha, boy. Boy, oil shali. So she did that. That was something wrong with that? What are you laughing at me?
No, but
That's the only discussion you have. What kind of talk? But it's not a halal, you know.
it's halacha
To
that
get rid about.
can say to women can say it's halacha.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
Called Shabbat, prepared also.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get into the reasons why, but that's how. Yes. You have to come on time.
Knocked my shake all over the kitchen today. And that's.
That's because you're planning to come late.
Oh,
We're planning to come on time, what's happened?
there you go.
And my shakes is very clear, that's not my question. My question is, why wasn't Yanko, like, why didn't he kind of think like, okay, I was supposed to go to Russell's tent, but instead I'm going to Leah, like, he kind of went with what?
Leah probably told him the reason. Leah probably told him what happened. Yeah, I'm sure he did. But you had to tell him, otherwise he would go to Rachel. So what did you do wrong? Take your Leah. What, you be bound toward bed? Can't move? So the Rebbe says, because of all this, we have to change. Rashi is not saying that Leah and Dinah did something wrong. Not at all. Dinah was she had a tremendous talent of making Balei Tshuva. Rashi says that when Esau saw all the children, he didn't see Dinah. How come? Yaakov hid Dinah in a box. But he was afraid. He was still a young kid. How old was she already? 6, 7, 8? Why? She was afraid because he was afraid that Esau might put her eyes on her. She was a beautiful young girl. And Esau was a dirty old man, and he would put her eyes on her. So he hid him. Yaakov was punished.
Why?
Unbelievable. Why? Because Dinah had such an incredible koach. She could have made Esau into a Baal Tshuva. She was like the equivalent of Yosef in a girl. She had the power to transform. And Yaakov deprived Dinah of that schus, and Esau becoming a Baal Tshuva. And therefore, when Dinah was abducted, it wasn't a punishment for her misbehavior, so-called immodest behavior. It was a punishment for Yaakov. Yaakov should have realized it's kedai to save Esau's life, to save it, who's a son of Yitzchak and Rivka, holy people. To save Esau, you have to let your daughter be exposed. It's strange. And Yaakov was like a punish. So, you know why it's called Bas Leah? It's called Bas Leah because from Yaakov's side, she has to be hidden. The Batete, to be Mekarev. What did she go out for? She went out to be Mekarev, her friends, her non-Jewish friends. Mifsa Neshek. She went on Mitzrayim. It was a big macher. And what the Rebbe says in the Sikha, even though she got what she wanted, because what happened when they took over the whole city? They got new maidservants. All those girls that she talked with became members of Yaakov's household. They were working there, and they were treated very well, and they became Baal Tshuva. So Dinah, because of what happened to Dinah, actually what she wanted, she achieved what she wanted.
How is it punishment for Yanko when it actually happened to her?
Young daughter, a young kid, considered a punishment for a father and mother. Because young children are their parents' possessions. The punishment Leah also was punished, but what? Yeah, it says children suffer from their father and parents' misdeeds sometimes. Young children. It's yours, and you got to take care of them. And your arthritis. Let's see what the Rebbe says here. On page 421 on top. Let's see the English already. Therefore, it appears that Rashi's intent is that by describing Dinah as Leah's daughter, the verse is teaching that just as the simple understanding of the Torah is that Leah's going out to greet Yaakov was praiseworthy, so too, as will be explained, Dinah's going out was desirable in and of itself. For that reason, Rashi did not quote the Midrash. There's a Midrash that says openly that Dinah was not so modest. Similarly, it is not necessary for Rashi to explain what was laudatory about Dinah's going out. What's so special? Why is it a shevach? For that is understood from this earlier commentary, as we'll soon explain. Let's see Vahavir, but the consequences of preventing a potential from being expressed. The above difficulties can be resolved to understand why the pasuk refers to her as Bas Leah and why it's considered to be a positive thing, not a negative thing. The following explanation. On the verse, and Yaakov took his 11 sons, Rashi comments, where was Dinah? Rashi answers, he locked her in a chest, so that Esav should not set her eyes on her. Therefore, Yaakov was punished for withholding her from his brother. Had Esav married her, perhaps she would motivate him to improve his ways. As a result, she fell into the hands of Shem. An obvious question arises. How could Yaakov possibly subject Dinah to the danger of being married to Esav based on the mere possibility that she would motivate him to improve his ways? Moreover, why was Yaakov punished so severely that Dinah fell into the hands of Shem simply because he prevented Esav from seeing her? In other words, it's like saying, you don't want Dinah to fall into the hands of Esav? She falls into the hands of Shem. Like, because you didn't want Dinah to fall into the hands of Esav, which would not be falling into the hands, she would have made Esav to a Baal Tshuva. Look what happens to your Dinah now. Now she really is raped and she's punished. He's hurt because of it.
But when is that for when they meet?
This week's parsha.
Really?
Of course.
Oh, I forgot.
In fact, Esav kisses Yaakov at the end. So Rashi says that he had a soft feeling for a moment. Didn't last very long. Later on, he wanted to kill him again. In fact, Lavan, there's a medrash that said Lavan sent a letter to Esav. Interesting. Lavan and Esav, Uncle Lavan, how'd they get along? Oh, so Lavan sends a letter to Esav. I'm bound. I can't kill Yaakov. God told me don't you dare do anything to him. No good, no bad. Just leave him alone. I'm stuck. I have my hands tied. You don't. I can't tell you to do anything. I'm not going to tell you to do anything because that would also be intervening. I'm letting you know if you would kill Yaakov, you'd make me very happy. Never says that. Lavan sent a letter, sent a WhatsApp to Yaakov, to Esav. I can't tell you to do anything. I'll just let you know if you do it, I'll be very, very thankful. I'll try to take a Lavan. Yaakov went through, unbelievable. Anyways, so he didn't trust Esav, but yet he was punished because he underestimated the power of his daughter. This Dinah was a special neshama. In fact, it says, I'll tell you something, that Dinah, when she was with Shem had holy sparks in him. It says that there was some special souls of great holy people that were found trapped in his body. Dinah was holy person. When she was with Shem, her neshama, like a magnet, extricated, pulled out, liberated those souls from Shem, from the filthy, location where those souls were. So it's like a magnet. Mata minas mino. The holiness of Dinah's neshama connected to the neshamas of the souls that were in Golos, that were in captivity in the body of Shem, and her soul pulled those souls out. And therefore, years down the road, many hundreds of years later, he was born someone with the name Rabbi Hanina ben Tradion. He was one of the 10 martyrs. In fact, when Hamor tells Yaakov, my son Shem is in love with your daughter. V'hine, if you let them marry, v'hine rachavat yadayim, rachavat reish. this is the sikha where it goes very deep into showing how, yes, indeed, in spite of what it looks like, the Dinah quality does come from Leah. And we'll soon see how that is, but not today. Let's just see the question, page 423 on the bottom. The tzorech was that. Explanation is nevertheless still required because seemingly Dinah's going out did not resemble Leah's. Leah desired and sought ways to increase the number of tribes, i.e., that she would bear additional children to Yaakov. And as I said, it would make her have less time to leave the home. Like 424 on top. What connection does her ability to motivate Esau, the wicked, and the daughters of the land to improve their ways? What does that have to do with Leah's going out, which was intended to give birth to Yisachar, to Yaakov's children, and she had a child called Yisachar, the Torah scholar. In particular, the above question is relevant in light of Rashi's explicit statement in interpretation of the words, Leah's eyes were sensitive. Why was Leah's eyes sensitive? Rakot. She was crying. Why was she crying the whole time? I don't want to go to Esau. I don't want to be Esau's wife. Just the opposite. She doesn't want to try to be Makar of Esau. She's scared. She cried. In fact, what does the word Leah actually mean? You want to know?
Leah?
Yeah,
Leah.
what does Leah mean? Has a meaning. Exhausted, weary, tired, strained,
The name Leah?
fatigue. Huh?
The name Leah?
Nileh. Not the same exact word, but the root is the same. Etymology. Nileh means tired, knocked out. Ayefut. Leah was a tortured soul. Rachel was a sweet soul. Leah was a tortured soul. She was crying and fighting. And she believed, you know why people are saying, Rachel to Yaakov, Haktana lahakatan, Hagdola lahagadol. The younger boy, younger twin, Yaakov goes to the younger Rachel, who's younger, and the older one, she said, it probably means that I have Asa quality in me. She was fighting herself. And she was like about true in a way. She was constantly in the state of meridus. And she cried, making herself look ugly. Which woman wants to make herself look ugly? Especially if you want Yaakov, okay, Yaakov is tzaddik, but to make yourself look physically ugly, it's against the nature. Well, she didn't care. In fact, he said, I can't tolerate the fact that I have within me a quality of Esau, which people are saying, and everyone's saying that, the whole world's saying that. He's Esau's wife, perfect shidduch. That bothered her like crazy. And even when she married Yaakov, it still bothered her. Why are people saying this about? Why do people even think that I'm Esau's mate? And she fought with herself the whole time. A bitter soul. Yaakov was not that kind. Yaakov was a smooth soul. Yaakov was calm. Esau was a Doberchaya. Esau was the wild one. The ADD child who can't sit in one place. Yaakov was pure, fitting into the system. Everything's pure, very daven, like a holy child. There's no fatigue. There's no weariness. Everything's smooth, like a topic. And Asa was like potential Baal Tshuva, but he was the Tshuva. Leah had this Baal Tshuva type of lifestyle in herself. As the Rebbe will explain that we see that everyone has a connection to Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, especially Yaakov, but he's the father of all your people. We're called Bnei Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael. Yaakov was called Yisrael, so we are really his children more than Avraham and Yitzchak. But then there's the mothers. There's a mother. In order for Yaakov's, and Yaakov's attributes to be revealed, in Yaakov, all the 12 tribes are all considered like one, just like in a father. In a tipa, in a seminal drop of a father, you don't see the different limbs of the body. You don't see Yadayim v'Raglayim, the tipa. But after 9 months of gestation in the mother's womb, what do you see? A whole 248 limbs. That's the Gashmias, procreation in Gashmias. So too Ruchnias. There's also procreative soul. He revealed different qualities in a soul. There's Reuven's way of serving Hashem, Shimon's way. So through whom did Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, all the 12 tribes get their different pathways of serving Hashem? Through their mothers. In general, there are two. There are 12, corresponding to the 12 months of the year, the zodiac. But Reuben is Nisan, Shimon is Ir, Levi is Sivan, and so on and so forth. But in general, they're divided into two: the Rachel children and the Leah children. Those that are Baal Tshuva oriented, and those that are Tzaddik oriented. We find that Leah's first child was Reuven. Reuven avoided Hebrew Tshuva. You know why? He was when next week Parsha when Reuven left. He said, "Don't kill Yosef." What did he leave for? He was wearing sackcloth. Why was he wearing sackcloth? He fasted every day because he mixed up. He took his bed. He took his mother's. When his mother passed away, Yaakov was with Bilah. He felt Bilah over my mother. So he mixed the bed, and he felt with the wrong people. He acted impulsively. He acted without thinking. He did tshuva for 9 years. 9 years later, he was still fasting day in and day out. And he comes back, he sees that Yosef's gone. So Reuven was the prototype Baal Tshuva. He's Leah's son. Leah's children were into this union of tshuva. By Leah, the tshuva was for herself. But Dinah acquired the tshuva trait from Leah in a very open way, making Baal Tshuva. Leah herself worked on her own personal life of tshuva. But Dinah developed that into how about making other people Baal Tshuva. So she's Bas Leah. This is in the Kula Vasicha. We ran out of time. So I'm sorry for giving it back to me. You can keep this if you want. You don't want to keep it? No, this is a storybook. Thank you. You don't want to keep it? These are stories. Yeah. Present to you. Yeah. Stories about the Mitteler Rebbe. How the Mitteler Rebbe became a chassid. You got to read that. Very powerful. The Alter Rebbe thanked someone for making his son a chassid. Read the book. Read those two stories, or good reading. Back us up. Huh? Why a week? Not a day? What, an hour?
A day?
Every hour I read a book. Yes, good. Joking, sir. Too gullible.
Well, when you say
You're
it so
gullible on the
seriously,
dictionary.
I'm not that gullible.
That's what makes it always the big sector, and she's like, really?
what does it say?
You're gullible on the dictionary?
Yeah. But focus. Come on.
Come on. I'm struggling right now.
Your name is not Leah.
You're calling me out.
Yeah, I thought we're not even look the route.
Yeah,
So Leah is
I
not
went
good
to
name.
Lister. I
You
showed
better come on
up.
time next time.
We
You
got-
better come on time.
So Leah is not good name. Why people continue to call Leah?
It's a holy name.
Only name, but it's
They do it though. That's what I'm saying.
like Miriam.
They do it.
נכון, אני שיניתי את השם, אני מרים.
Your name?
מרים שירה.
Yeah.
כן, נולדתי מרים שירה. ואז הבנתי שאני צריכה להיות שירה, לא אומרים.
Beautiful name. My name is different.
Why?
No, we're not going to.
Both of you are here.